We gotta talk about all the money I saved this month from actually using things that I already own. My following update will be more of a vlog style as I go through everything, but we're gonna go ahead and start out with skincare. This is the eye cream that I use. I have barely any left, like we're talking barely any. I have used this nonstop since I got it. It's the multi-peptide eye cream by Naturium. So making good progress there. I am going to mark it at where the line is. So that is where we are currently. Next, we have the 6 peptide skin booster. This is by CosRx. You can see on the side here, I did actually already mark it. So that's what we were starting with. And this is where we are at now. I'm gonna go ahead and mark that as well. I did read somewhere by put it on the table when you are marking it. So we haven't gone through too much, but we did go through a little bit, so I'm pretty proud. This next one I'm not really able to mark, but I am gonna let you know this was basically brand new when I first showed it. It is my hyaluronic acid intensive cream by CosRx. I use this 2 times a day. Like I use it in the morning and at night. This is the only moisturizer I use. It's more of like a gel cream, plays really well under makeup, really well with sunscreen, doesn't pill. It's just the perfect moisturizer for me. And I've used quite a bit of it. If I've gone through that much in a month, chances are I'll probably finish this one. Next is my Ordinary sunscreen. I don't love this formula, but let's see where we're at. Okay, so you can see my original line here that was in December. This is where we are at currently. So we'll see how I get through using this as well. Like I said, I don't love the formula, so I don't know how much of that I'm gonna use. This is my vitamin C serum by The Ordinary. I did not actually mark this, but when I first showed you guys, it was pretty much brand new, and that is where we are now. So we've used quite a bit of that too. Then we have my CeraVe Hydrating Toner. I use this sometimes when I use my tretinoin. I did not mark this at the end of December. I am gonna mark it now though. That is where we are. So we have a good bit left. I don't use this very often, so I highly doubt that's gone down pretty much at all. Next things I want to talk about are my antimicrobial skin spray stuff. This is almost gone. I have probably like a use out of this left, or like a day out of it. So I am actually going to be bringing into my pan my Tower 28 spray. This we are starting with at about right here. So we got a little bit that we've gone through. I wish more people made their products where like you could see exactly like what you have left. I know it's for like marketing, they want you to go and buy backups, like whatever. But this, like I said, I barely have anything left, and this one I'm sure I can go through in like a month. Next is my glow screen. This I don't love for the winter months, but it does work as a sunscreen. It's really good under makeup. This is where I'm at right now. I've barely used any of this. It just doesn't really work like I necessarily want it to work. So I have to use it very sparingly. So I don't find myself reaching for it, because when I'm putting on sunscreen on my face, I want to put on, you know, a generous amount to prevent, you know, like sunburns and aging and things. So don't use this a whole lot. And then this one's going to be really hard to talk about. This is my Cicaplast Balm B5. I use this every night and it still feels like I have a crap ton left. Looking at it, it looks like I'm about right there. So we're about right here on it. So I've used pretty much everything in this top bit. This stuff is fantastic. I love it. I would repurchase this like 1,000 times. So we'll continue to use that, and chances of me going through quite a bit of this in the month of February is pretty high. Now we're going to be moving into makeup, and there are 3 things that I'm actually going to be taking out of my pan because I am going to be unhauling them. I gave them a month in my collection and didn't end up loving them. First one is the Ilia highlighter. This is in the shade Days. It's just too dark for my skin tone. I'm pretty fair. It looks like this would be really fair, but when you blend it out, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's just very dark. Like it doesn't necessarily, it's right there. It doesn't necessarily work on my skin. So I am going to be getting rid of this. I'm going to be finding another home for it if somebody would like it. It is pretty much brand new. So that one I'm going to be rehoming. Next, I'm going to be getting rid of my ColourPop Creme Gel Liner. I've barely made a dent in it. Like that's how much I haven't used. I just don't wear eyeliners. Just wearing something like that, it like bugs my eyes. Like wearing mascara is like enough for me. I have tried this so many ways. I've used it very sparingly. I've used, you know, I've just like seen all the ways that people use it, and it never works for me. It also breaks me out. So this is the one that doesn't have niacinamide in it, so I don't know why my skin's reacting so poorly to it, but I am going to be getting rid of this. This is super old, so this is probably going to get tossed, and this eyeliner is going to get tossed, obviously, because this went on my eyes at some point, and then the Ilia I am going to be donating. Moving into makeup, I'm going to be continuing to use, starting off with kind of the order that I use everything. First is my House Labs foundation. I actually had more of this at one point in time, but I did end up dropping it in my drawer, or like tilted over in my drawer and spilled absolutely everywhere. The cap was on. I don't know what's going on, but it really upset me. But this is how much I have used. I really love this. I do, however, only use one pump when I do my makeup. So it's going to take me quite a bit to go through this, but it is a really good formula. And I would contemplate repurchasing it in the future, but right now I'm just trying to, you know, make my way through that. Next is my bronzer. This is the Sunkissed bronzer by Charlotte Tilbury. It's quite massive, but you guys can see I have made a dent in this baby. It used to be this beautiful swirl pattern. We have quite a good dent there. This is the only bronzer that I have, and it is massive. It's almost the size of my head. So I imagine it's gonna last me for quite a while. Let's see how much is in this. It's 0.74 ounces. It does go off in about 24 months. I've had this for about a year. So if this isn't gone by the end of the year, I'll need to unhaul it. But as of right now, you guys can see that dent I've made in it. I will continue to use this. It's a good color match for me as well. Blush that I'm using is by e.l.f. It looks like there's a lot left in here, but there isn't. Like, I have used this nonstop for about 6 months. I use this pretty much every day. I do love this, but I'm starting to be able to see like the insides of it. Like, there's like lines and stuff on the outside. So I'm sure I'll be going through that relatively quickly. Couple of things I don't use every time I do my makeup, but I do still want to talk about. My Urban Decay Shadow Potion Primer thing. I can't really tell how much is left in this. When I squeeze it from the bottom, it takes Looks like I have about that much that I have used from the product itself, but I do like this. I feel like it does make my eyeshadow stay on longer and it does prevent it from creasing. I don't think I would repurchase something like that though. And then I did have in my pan Taupe by Makeup by Mario. This is a really frustrating product design. You cannot tell how much you have left of it. The original product itself is 0.06 fluid ounces. So far, it's a good product. Like, I will continue to use it until I don't have anything left of this product, but I don't necessarily know that I would repurchase something like this. I just find that, like, value for money, 0.06 for how much these things cost, I don't necessarily know that that's something that I'm going to want to continue to buy. Next, we have my True Match Concealer. You can kind of tell by looking at the sides that we are starting to see the inside of the container, and I do find that a little bit less is coming off on the tip as I am using it. So I think this is going to be something that I am able to finish up in the month of February. I do, once again, use concealer pretty much every day just to, like, spot conceal and things like that. So this I will go through relatively quickly. A couple of things that are kind of hard to tell what is left, and I'm just kind of going off of consistency. So for this one, I have the NYX Professional Lip Crayon. This is in the shade Nude Pink. This is really good under the lipstick that I'm currently wearing. This is way too nude for me. This is a sharpenable pencil, however, which is not my favorite. So I'm trying to find like a pencil sharpener for this so that I can keep using it. But I've used it so little that I have yet to need to actually sharpen that product. So we've got plenty of that left. And then my e.l.f. Lash and Roll Mascara. This is more of a wet consistency, and I think that's when I'll pretty much know that it needs to be replaced. You are supposed to replace mascaras every 6 months to prevent like eye infections and things like that. I've had this for about 3 months, so we're doing good there, but I do need to kind of keep an eye on the consistency. But so far, I think this will probably make me through the month of February. And then I have the NYX Brow Glue, which you can't really tell on camera, but it's quite gloopy. I don't know if you guys can see how gloopy that is, but it is getting to that consistency where when I pull it out, it has like the strings and things, but it does keep my eyebrows in place. So the formula seems to be okay. The formula hasn't changed. I just don't know if, you know, like taking it in and out has dried it out a little bit, but as long as it continues to work and I'm still able to pull product from it, I will keep it. Looking at it through the light, I still can't see how much is actually left in that. That is the most frustrating part of products. And then I have my eyebrow pencil. I've used this one over and over again. It is my go-to. It's the NYX Bladen shade. I actually had more of this left when I started the video this morning. However, I did end up breaking it, so I don't have too much of this left. I probably have a month or two. I do use this like pretty much every day, but I use it pretty sparingly, so we're okay there. I probably have quite a while left with it. And then my Laura Mercier powder, which has been leaking. Like, I just hate the way powders are designed. This I probably have about half left on. So this will last me at least the month of February, if not longer than that. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I use powder so sparingly. I primarily use it in the summer months anyway. So I think January, February, March, April, I probably won't use too much of this. So that's going to last me quite a while. And then I have my black honey from Clinique. I showed you guys kind of like a close-up of this, but I have used pretty much nothing from this. It is a very sheer product. It is something that you can like reapply throughout the day. So I feel like this will last me the month of February as well. I have my Hourglass dim light or the ambient lighting palette in like the dim light one. This I use pretty much every day, and I think notoriously these things have huge pans and people talk about how impossible it is to pan them. I use this as like my more like summery kind of, I don't want to say contour shade, but just adding like a little bit of color back into my skin. This I use kind of all over my face. And then this I use very, very sparingly. And it's usually like a summer kind of warm color that I use. I do love this palette. I really, really do. I just know I'm going to be working on these for forever. There's a little bit of a dent in the kind of like lighter shade. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that on camera, but I've had this forever. This is going to be the one product that I want to try to pan before the end of the year, so keep an eye out on that one. Next, we have my Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray by Charlotte Tilbury. I don't necessarily love this. It makes my skin feel really sticky, but we have used about half of the bottle, so hopeful I can go through a lot of that in the month of February. And then the last thing, and I'm considering switching this out of my pan, but it is the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership. This is the color story we're looking at here. It's a lot of pinks. I've actually made quite a dent and have been using a lot of this shade right here. I don't know if you can see the dent, and then this one too. These shimmer shades, I use a lot of this gold and a lot of this one. It is just such a beautiful, beautiful color story, and I do love it. Such high quality shadows. Would invest in anything by Pat McGrath again. Just right now, my goal is to make my way through this. So I think come the end of February, moving into like March, April, I might switch this out. But for now, we're going strong. We're making headway. I love just like this whole palette so much. So can't wait to continue with this one too. And then the last thing that we have here is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in Always Cheeky. I'm getting so bored of this color. I'm getting so bored of both of these colors. Like, as you can tell, they're pretty much the exact same color. This one is in Peach Perfect, and this is in Always Cheeky. But I have made a serious dent in this. I don't know if you guys can see this. This was like one of the products that I really wanted to get rid of by the end of last year. I just did not make it. But this is going to be something that I can get rid of in 2026. I'm so excited. I love being able to hit pan. But I am looking at this much of a savings for the month for having just used the products that I have, but I'm just so excited. I haven't bought a single makeup item since I started this, and the next video I'm going to go over kind of like my finances, financial goals for the year, sort of where I'm at on everything. And a lot of being able to make any progress in my financial goals this year was specifically because I was shopping my own stash and using up what I had. So if you guys are interested in doing this, I would highly recommend just the amount of money that you do save, just using what you've already spent money on just has been absolutely fantastic for me. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know down below your one item that you want to get through in 2026. It can be a body wash, a lotion, a makeup item, whatever it is, let me know down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video.